So, welcome to Talkin' Ball, Game Day episode number 9. But before we get into anything else, I'd like to thank Cam Smith with the Just Jesus Radio Network.
Shout out.
Radio Network. Internet radio app, all your gospel preaching, gospel singing, all that good stuff. Our boy Dave is on there Saturday mornings at 8:30.
Hey.
Make sure you go give him a listen.
And Dave doesn't have a fever blister either.
Dave does not have a fever blister. I don't know if Dave's probably confused.
I've never had a fever.
But we'll tell you about that later.
Yeah. But you're hey, thank God your fever blister.
What's with y'all's inside jokes on these game days?
You'll
see.
I don't think you've seen it.
So, also with the American Senior Benefits insurance company, all your insurance need, open enrollment is going on right now. So make sure you give him a call for all your insurance needs that you may have. But let's dive into this. Week 9. Last week wasn't really upset filled. We had the upset of Oklahoma State. This week's a little bit tougher.
This is a tough week for picks.
Yeah, our guess.
I thought there was one big loss last week.
Probably Oklahoma State.
Was that the only one? I thought there was another one.
I think it just almost gives that vibe. I guess.
Iowa lost to Purdue.
That was the week before, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, because they were on a bye.
Yeah.
What was that?
Probably maybe Coastal. You're thinking because Coastal lost to App State.
No, I guess I was just assuming because of the way.
Okay, well, there was a lot of close games. Oklahoma struggled. Remember, Cincinnati struggled.
Oh no, Penn State lost. That's what I was thinking about.
That's right, to Illinois
because of all those overtimes.
And Oklahoma State. But this week's tough for our guest picker.
No, especially for
who it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and dive into this. John, who are you taking in your upset pick?
So we're going straight to picks.
I didn't know
Alabama. Your upset pick.
I didn't know Alabama.
Or upset alert. Upset alert.
That's not out there.
You're good.
Yeah, I heard the word picks and it
went you're upset alert.
Alabama upset Tennessee.
Yeah, they did.
So my upset alert is going to be North Carolina and Notre Dame. And I know North Carolina had a bit of an underwhelming season, and they're playing at Notre Dame, and that's a tough place to play. But Notre Dame's been anything but consistent. They've been extremely inconsistent, both offensively and both defensively. We know with Sam Howell and Joshua Dobbs is it Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah.
That's not right.
No.
That was a Tennessee quarterback.
That was a Tennessee quarterback. Like 5 years ago.
Yeah, you said without any hesitation.
Yeah.
They always has a lot of confidence.
Anyway, their wide receiver that for some reason slips my mind, it ended up coming back to me. But their offense it's been pretty prolific, but it also has been inconsistent. And it wouldn't surprise me if they end up upsetting Notre Dame. It really wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm actually rocking here, and I've thought a lot about this, and it pains me to do this, but the Georgia-Florida game is a big matchup.
Mm-hmm.
It's a highly touted rivalry.
No way.
No matter how good or that's going to be a great game this weekend. Georgia's going to win big. I'm looking at Michigan to get upset this weekend.
Josh Downs. I wasn't even close.
Yeah. I really believe.
You said Josh
Dobbs. Literally.
Sorry, go ahead.
In this episode of Gameday, David won't get the talk.
Sorry, that's on me.
I just really like this Michigan State team. They're gritty, physical. They kind of play old school ball. I'm a Mel Tucker fan. I think Jim Harbaugh, obviously, I would probably rank him as a better coach. It's just his pedigree, but I really like Michigan State at home.
They definitely play extremely hard for Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker has absolutely owned the transfer portal.
A little bit of foreshadow who you're picking, maybe?
Could be.
In my upset alert, I'm taking Texas over Baylor. Texas is coming off of 2 tough losses. And it seems like such a long time ago, but just 2 weeks ago they were 21 points, ahead of Oklahoma, and now they're coming off a loss.
They were like 70 points ahead of Oklahoma State.
So I think it's there. I think Sarkisian gets a big win this week on the road. If you go look at Baylor's schedule, Baylor has, they've kind of flown under the radar. They haven't really beat any big teams really. A lot of close games, allowing a lot of points, 23, 24 points to these nobodies. I think Texas goes on the road. I think they pull the upset. I think they cover the spread, and I think they pull the upset at Baylor.
I'll be wrong, I think Steve Sarkisian needs it.
He does.
We kind of talked about this in one of the reaction vids prior to this video before about how it just seems, especially since Tom Herman, that in the fabric of Texas's culture, they just seem to blow game after game after game. That's kind of continued with Steve Sarkisian. So I think he would need a win like that. It'd be huge for him.
John, or Dave, whichever one, who y'all sleeping on? Who y'all sleeping on this week?
Well, see, there's a handful of games here, but I'm going to sleep on Penn State.
Okay.
Penn State goes to Ohio State. This is a big game. It's really a rivalry game here, but man, Ohio State's hot and Penn State's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of the basis of it. There's a couple other games I wanted to go with, but I'm gonna say I wouldn't be surprised to see Ohio State run this game away with it. And the thing is here, Ohio State's offense has really got moving. And I think Ohio State is kind of cementing themselves as a surefire playoff contender.
They're definitely hitting their stride, no doubt. They're kind of getting into, I guess, the quote-unquote meat of their schedule, but I agree with you. I think they probably blow through Penn State pretty easily. The team that I'm going to be sleeping on is Iowa. And they just lost. I mean, they're coming off a bye week, but they just lost to Purdue. And I think this continues. I don't necessarily think that Wisconsin blows them out. I think Iowa is a pretty difficult team to blow out. Now, granted, they got to be pretty good by Purdue. I think it's a fairly close game, but I think they'll lose back-to-back weeks, and we kind of see that Iowa really wasn't the team that we maybe thought, or at least some people thought.
And a lot of times these teams that weren't supposed to be this,
right,
they finally lose, and it's like they give up.
Right, exactly.
They lose. Their win gets knocked out.
And then when you're a team like Iowa and you really don't necessarily have that much talent and you're just playing out of your minds, eventually that kind of magic and that juice runs out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, once that runs out, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, I agree. I also was sleeping on Penn State, but
and Iowa.
But I took mine. Yeah, but
he go from Penn State to Iowa. He wrote down Ohio State at first. All of a sudden went from Iowa. I think he was sleeping on Wake Forest too. He went to Ohio State. So who's gonna win, Ohio State or Penn State? He's just sleeping on both.
I meant
he said bump that game. I ain't watching.
I meant to write Penn State, but since Dave and both of y'all told me, I'll go with the obvious. I'm sleeping on Florida. I don't expect it to be a close game.
Good take.
I think AR-15 don't come in and make a couple plays against that Bulldog defense.
No, I think it's ugly quick, and I don't think it's. I think Georgia again makes a big statement this weekend.
Where do you play at?
It's
like Jacksonville.
It's neutral side.
Fucking Jacksonville.
Yeah, so pretty much it's neutral, but they have more fans.
No, it's pretty blunt.
30 minutes from.
It'd be so much better if it was a home and home.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I forget.
Yeah, I'm sleeping on Florida.
I forget the exact mileage, but it's a long ways from Athens.
Yeah. Who's your breakout player? Either one of you.
Man, I'm gonna do something that I've kept saying I'm not gonna do, but I'm gonna do it. All right, listen. I'm going to go ahead and put everybody on notice.
I'm on notice.
He's back. JT Jonathan Tyler Daniels is back.
Is it like for sure?
Is he going to be starting?
He's back. I know people. Yeah.
He's back.
I don't actually know people. I know people, it's not the right people. He should be back. And if he starts, and I believe he will, and I don't believe Kirby at all when he says, we're going to run a dual quarterback system.
Yeah.
I think JT's going to come in. I think Georgia's going to be dropping bombs. And I think the Georgia offense that was limited will no longer be limited. I think we're going to score early and often. I think the offense is going to be clicking. And I think he's got something to prove. I believe he's healthy. And I think he has a great game, probably over 300 yards, handful of touchdowns, and kind of cements himself as like, hey, I've been injured, but I am one of the best.
John?
I'm gonna roll with Kenny Pickett, who pretty much sliced up our defense last week pretty well.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a huge confidence booster for him, no doubt, because in his career he's played terrible with Clemson. Yeah. And he's now, I believe, he's a super senior at this point. Kind of having that extra COVID year, and they're going to be playing against Miami, who's been terrible this year, who's been extremely inconsistent with Manny Diaz as their head coach. And, I mean, Kenny Pickett's already cemented himself as a legitimate Heisman candidate, especially last week. That would, I guess, if he were to win Heisman, probably one of his Heisman moments, that win against Clemson. And I think he carries that in. They're playing at home. They're playing Miami. I think it's interesting. If you looked at, like, the preseason Heisman odds, and who's actually a Heisman candidate now, so polar opposite. But I find that pretty intriguing. But I think Kenny Pickett has another big week up against Miami.
I'm going to roll with a guy that I've rolled with just a couple weeks ago, and especially this week with the star running, not the star, but I guess you consider him right now, first or second string running back. Kobe Pace being out, Clemson's running back with COVID.
So where's Will Shipley?
Shipley, he's back, but he's not. I don't think he's fully healthy yet.
All right, honest to goodness, he looked outside of that drop. He looked really good against Pittsburgh.
He did. But I'm going to go with Phil Maffa.
But once we get behind by 3 points, we never run the ball again.
That is true. That's true. But I don't think we get behind this week. I really don't.
I
don't think we do.
Better not.
Yeah.
Florida State's
But yeah, I'm going to go with Phil Maffa. I think he'll have a good game this week. Look for him to use him in the passing game. I say that I don't believe it, but. We'll see if he does or not. But
before we Clemson have a passing game.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, I don't even know. I'm assuming Ngata will be back.
Maybe.
But I'm assuming E.J. Williams is still probably be out. I know Ladson's out for the season.
You just go ahead and assume Ngata's out.
Yeah, well, Ngata's our best player.
Yeah.
As a wide receiver. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say this. I want to talk about this just for a quick minute. How big of a game do you think this is for Jim Harbaugh? Because obviously there's been a lot of noise kind of going around.
Huge, yeah.
It's beyond.
Yeah.
And he struggled to beat Michigan State. And now, granted, a lot of the hate that he gets is definitely warranted. But if you look at Michigan pre-Jim Harbaugh, they're definitely in a better state now.
No doubt.
With Jim Harbaugh being their coach, but he really hasn't produced, I guess, to the contract level. I think he's getting paid almost as high as almost anybody in the country. And this is a big game for Jim Harbaugh.
In college football, Week 7 and Week 6 is similar to the All-Star break of baseball. You have that mark where it's all right. You're 7-0.
Yeah.
Great. You've had a great first half of the year. You got 5 games left.
Yeah.
You lose 2 or 3 of these games, no one cares that
no
you
one
were
remembers
ranked
that
number 8.
7-0.
Right.
Yep, and that's to be said for everybody.
Yep.
Even Georgia, Alabama,
Absolutely.
these other cats ranked up top. It doesn't matter what you've done. You've got to finish out. And that's the thing. One of these 2 teams are probably going to die off out of that play this weekend.
Yeah.
I agree.
In my opinion, and I'm not going to say who I'm picking to win yet, but I think my personal opinion, I think the winner of this goes to playoff.
Really? That's a bold pick. I like that.
Yeah.
I could see it, but I don't know.
And I think the other team, like you said, I think they lose 2 or 3 of them.
With
I
the
think
stride-
Thing you got to think they got to go through Ohio State.
And,
I agree with that.
they are catching stride.
Yeah.
I like the boldness that I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
But let's go ahead and get into
I'd
our
love to see Michigan and Michigan
Oh, I would too.
get into our picks. Congrats, Dave, with the best record last week.
Let's go.
Hey, we're making that comeback, baby.
5-1.
Yes,
so,
sir.
John still has a 1-game lead on me,
Yeah, dude.
and a 3-game lead on Dave.
Hey, but 3 games ain't nothing bad. We got heat,
exactly.
man.
Hey, the Braves are back. The
yeah,
Braves are back in their
hey,
division.
Hey, go
That's
Braves.
right.
Chop on, baby.
Chop on.
I'm a closeted Braves fan.
Also, James went 5-1 last week, so
Solid week.
Yes,
Just nobody's
Kyle's
typical
still leading with 6-0. But this, go ahead, Dave. Call our guest picker for this week. This guy, football guru.
He's an expert.
Um,
Kirk Herbstreit.
I thought that we knew a lot about football.
Yeah, but this guy.
He actually does some announcing on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he has a
He
couple
announced us
times.
for Furman.
Yeah.
Furman?
I don't actually have Kane's number, apparently.
We're in bad shape. Let me give it to you.
We are in bad shape.
Yeah, Dallas is out of breath.
Either that or me or Caden won also.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me see.
So, but yeah, like I said, we'll give you a little background about this guy. Just a legend, football guru, you name it, he knows it.
Man, what happened? I
So-
literally talked to Caden on the phone within the last week. What? I don't know what happened with that.
Stand by.
I'll
I'll put some more music.
Yeah, we don't have that ability.
His last name is Husky.
Husky.
It's
So
a dog.
we
So I
already-
did have his number. I was clicking on the wrong one. I
So
got
our
two
guest
numbers.
picker this week is nobody else but Caden Husky.
And we're praying he answers.
I hope to God he does. Crickets right now.
What's up?
Caden, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Tell us a little bit about, just right off the bat, about your recency of the announcing you do at Furman.
Oh, the announcement at Furman's going great, man. They got really good water polo, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This year.
It's nice.
Who's your so Caden? Who's your favorite team? Who do you pull for in college?
If I had to, I'm not really a college person, but if I had to pick, it'd be Clemson, just because I grew up around Clemson.
Just give us 1 sec.
He's more of a home
We're really running out of people to talk. All right, we're back. You said you're a Georgia fan,
No.
but anyway, so Caden's a big Georgia fan. What's our first question?
So Caden, who you taking? Who you taking in the Florida State against Clemson game? Oh, let me hold on. Let me just tell you this. Hold on. You're going up against Kyle. Kyle went a perfect 6-0. So you had to be. If you go 6-0 though this week, we're giving you the prize probably because
it's definitely a tougher week for sure.
Yeah. So if you go 6-0, you're ahead, and the person who has the best record gets a prize.
Clemson might upset FSU.
Yeah. So who you taking? Clemson or Florida State?
As much as I like Clemson, I'm going Florida State.
Wow, coming off with a bang.
Coming off with a bang.
Wow.
Okay.
Taking no prisoners here, Kate.
Kick him off the show.
Yeah, me,
John, who you going with?
I've got a confession to make.
Are you going Florida State?
Okay, last week.
You too?
Last week I picked Clemson on air against Pittsburgh, but in our private group chat, my mind told me that Pittsburgh was going to win. Of course, I went with Pittsburgh.
I'm going to start just doing 50-50.
And Florida State is on a 3-game win streak. They've beat Syracuse, who we struggled deeply against. They beat North Carolina, and they beat them pretty easily, and they just beat UMass. So on a 3-game win streak, they're getting pretty hot, and Clemson's struggling. Clemson's faltering, and Clemson's falling, but of course, I'm going to go with the Tigers.
That's what I figured. Dave?
I'm going to be honest with you.
I'll probably pick FSU in the private chat.
Look, here's the thing.
Here's the thing. I want so badly to believe that on Saturday at 3:30, Clemson's going to kick off. And from beginning to end, Clemson is just going to nose drag Florida State.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what we used to always do.
But for whatever reason, man, my gut just won't let me pick Clemson.
I don't blame you. That's kind of what my
I want to. I believe they're going to win. But I'm going to have to pick Florida State. I'm going to roll with my gut. I don't know why I feel such a way, but I do.
I respect it. We got an even split there on that.
And it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier. Florida State is hot right now. They've heated up, and they started off bad. Clemson is not hot.
No, not at all.
I think Clemson probably will win this game, but for sake of gaining a point and for sake of my gut, I'm going to pick Florida State.
Going with the Tigers, baby.
Let's go down.
That's a shocker.
Tigers. Caden, Georgia or Florida?
Oh, Georgia all day, not even close.
So, I'm a big Georgia fan here.
Hey, big Georgia. John?
Georgia.
Dave?
Dogs.
I'm going with the Dogs as well.
He's already got his picture written down.
Yeah, because that way I remember them.
I can
Ole Miss at Auburn. Caden?
I'm going to go Ole Miss.
Hey, who's the best player on Ole Miss's football team?
Freddie Freeman.
Hey, I love it. Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah.
Ole Miss.
What's their mascot, Caden?
I have no clue.
John, who you going with?
By the way, Caden, who's their head coach?
He doesn't know.
No way.
Caden rides dirt bikes.
Yeah, that's what he
Hey,
does.
go look him up on FaceTube.
Motorsports.
Yeah, he also picks flowers and stuff.
Yeah, John, who you going with?
As a boyfriend.
The Rebels.
The Rebels? You going with the Rebels?
Ole Miss Rebels, baby.
They're the Land Sharks now.
Dave, who you going with?
Prejudice. This is at Auburn. It's hard to go to Auburn and play. Auburn sucks. I'm going Ole Miss.
You took Auburn, your other one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe.
It doesn't matter what I did. No, I mean...
No, you already
No, I want Ole Miss. The reason I say that, I just don't see Auburn's secondary stopping them. Auburn's secondary is dog water.
Yeah.
and it's a hard place to play. Auburn's not going to get blown out. It's just not going to happen at Auburn. And Auburn could win this game because things happen at Jordan-Hare that aren't supposed to happen. I don't know. Is Auburn even ranked right now?
Yes,
they're 18th.
Okay, so you're asking Lane Kiffin to do something Nick Saban's never done and beat Auburn at home when they're ranked.
That's true. That's a good point.
But the Auburn secondary is terrible. And if Stetson Bennett can dice them up, Matt Corral's going to have the ball. Big day from Corral.
Going with the Tigers, baby.
Going Corral.
Auburn. All the way. Pick the only person to pick them.
I respect it.
Penn State at Ohio State. Caden, who you taking?
Ohio State.
Any reason why?
They just seem better. I really don't.
They are better.
Perfect. I'm going with them.
Ohio State's actually ranked number 1 in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
No.
Over Georgia?
No, they're not ranked.
John?
Ohio State.
They're not even top 3.
It won't be close.
Dave?
Not close. Ohio State.
I'm also going with
Going Buckeyes, baby.
Buckeyes. All right, Iowa at Wisconsin. Who you taking, Caden?
gonna go Iowa on this one.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
It's at Wisconsin though, so I really don't know.
You think the Hawkeyes bounce back, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John?
As I kind of foreshadowed in my upset alert, I think Wisconsin win.
Ooh. Dave?
Pretty much foreshadowed as well, I believe. I don't really. Once we get to the end of this, I kind of forget everything we talked about. But I'm just gonna be honest here. Both these teams, in my opinion, are extremely overrated. Which you can't really say Wisconsin's overrated when they're not rated.
Yeah.
But I think Wisconsin's one of those teams that they are good on any given Saturday. They're just not always good.
Yeah.
And Iowa's got that stout defense, but as we've seen, they faltered in their last game. I'm going to take Wisconsin at home.
I am as well. All three of us are going Wisconsin in an upset over Iowa. I think they're down from that loss 2 weeks ago, and they don't bounce back. And they lose.
I respect it.
All right, last but not least, Caden, Michigan
Glory.
at Michigan State and the score.
I'm gonna go Michigan, even though it's at Michigan State.
Okay, and the score?
I really don't know. It's not. I don't feel like it's gonna be a high-scoring game.
So you
Hey,
said
that's
31 to
wise.
30?
That's wise.
So what?
What's your score?
Like 28-21.
Okay.
I like
Say
it.
87 to 6.
87-6.
Okay. Score. If I'm allowed to do this, should y'all come back to me? I'm
Yeah,
still
Dave?
debating.
I don't have to do that. You had me. This is fun.
Okay, I'll go ahead and give you mine. I'm going Michigan State at home. I think they get over the hump. They beat Michigan. Harbaugh suffers another loss.
Herbert.
28.
Herbert.
Herbert started another loss.
Justin Herbert.
28-24 Michigan State.
Herbert.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and make my pick. And
That's
strategically,
usually what we do this
yeah.
morning.
All right, shut up, Herbert. Strategically speaking, if I pick Michigan, that gives you a chance to jump because we have two different picks.
Good idea.
So I'll have to pick Michigan State and follow along
Facts.
in line with Dallas. And
That's
part
what
of
you
me,
should do.
Hey, John Wright.
and
Do it.
part
Do
of me thinks Michigan State's going to win. They're at home. Jim Harbaugh has struggled to beat them. But this Michigan run game is legit.
So you going Michigan or Michigan State?
Michigan State.
How about you give me
Sporting
second?
the best
Oh, I thought you wanted that. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with the Wolverines, and I'm gonna say 27-24. Hoping I
Okay.
don't regret this.
Dave?
I'm gonna be honest here. I'm really pulling for Michigan State at this point. I genuinely am. I just don't think they're there yet. I think they're close. I think Mel Tucker needs to land at LSU. I think they're close. I think both these teams are good, and this is going to be an old school mud fight. Caden is celebrating Alien Day. Flying his UFO. But I'm actually going to rock with Michigan as well. This is a toss-up here, but I just really feel like
I like it.
it's going to be one of those weekends where the team that I want to win doesn't. So far, that's worked pretty good for me with Georgia and wanting to win. But I'm going to say Michigan wins this. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Michigan's defense is going to stand tall against Kenneth Walker. I think it's going to be 17-23 final.
17-23?
That's what I said.
I mean, like
23-17.
It don't matter which side you put it on. I pick Michigan.
All right, so there's our
love you.
picks. Caden, thank you for being on the show. What do you have to
Much
say?
appreciation.
You have a fine.
I'll
Okay,
see you, John, David, and is it Daniel?
yeah, Daniel, that's it.
Okay. I'll see y'all boys later.
Bye, we
Hey,
love you.
give us a word of the day.
Hung up.
Oh, Rib.
Because I want to do this one.
Okay, what's the word of the day? Is this a big one?
If you're still watching,
Which Levi is. Levi, you're a faithful watcher.
you must
so-
comment 2 words to let us know.
Even though Dave didn't pay your $5.
And those 2 words are...
Bill Levi probably just skips the youngest word of the day.
Probably does. We ought to put the word of the day in the middle from now.
Probably should.
chop on.
Chop on. I like it.
Cool.